Welcome to our Amba history. Today, the 2nd of November, 2022. We are here to educate and teach us and tell us how far we are going. I can hear so many people making so many noises out there, but I'm here to let you know that our revolution is on course and God is on the control. Ambazonians, don't give up. We are getting there, and very soon we will hit it there. Yes, very soon we will get it there. So don't give up. It is time to fight on and fight on and fight on. Before we go, I want to remind you that he knows your name. He knows the name of Ambazonia, and Ambazonia's name is right in his presence. Let's listen to this seasoned servant of God.
Me so, and you know my name. I give you glory, Abba Father. You know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. You know my name more than the I can see your hand in my life. Lord, I see your love upon me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. I dey hear your voice in my heart. Lord, I feel your love over me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the pillow. Abba Father, you know my name. Papa, you know me. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yeah, yeah. Jesus, your love, now oh. My master, your kindness, now wonder oh. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. Jesus, you said I be a picking no. Jesus, you said your love go cover me. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I look around, now you are the pillow. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, yeah. You know me, you know my name. Papa, you know my name, oh. Hey. You know me, you know my name. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yeah, yeah. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name.
Greetings, 21 gun salutes to the ARFs of Ambazonia who are standing their ground, loyal to the interim government, wanting and ready to meet La République du Cameroon as a government, as soldiers that are fighting under a government. Greetings to the unfatigable President of the Federal Republic of Amazonia, Dr. Samuel Sarko Ekome. A few days ago, I was just giving a general, how do I call it? Making a general statement, encouraging our president to stand his grounds And some people took it and said there was something wrong with our president. No, there was nothing, and there is nothing wrong with our president. I just felt to encourage him to stand strong and continue to stand strong. From the history book that I'm reading, it says that he who thinks that he is standing, let him take heed and be very careful, or else he will fall. And our president understands that very well. So I was just making a general statement, and many people took it for something is wrong, something is wrong. I like the sensitivity and the apprehensiveness of the Ambazonian person. Very, very sensitive. Anything that is going to take us out of Boya, they are very, very smart about it. Today, we have our man in the house, and this person, in the person of Mr. Jotanga, has a brief story to tell us. And I would like to, as soon as he comes into the house, he will be welcomed, and then we will go from there. So before then, I just want the Ambazonian people to know that it is time, and we are reigning because Ambazonia is reigning. I mean,
Oh, eh, 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 eh. Oh, 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 oh. This time, oh, now Jesus the reign. Ireno, 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 Ireno. This time, oh, now Jesus the reign. Ireno, Irene. Ireno, 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 Ireno. This time, oh, now Jesus the reign.
yes, as he is reigning, that is how Ambazonia is reigning. Now it is time we come in with our man, Mr. Jotanga. He has a special story and a special historical fact that he wants to tell Ambazonians so that we can sit up and know that this battle we are actually battling is not an abstract battle. He is a man who has read, studied, traveled to so many countries and worked in different countries under the United Nations, and actually gathered enough that is capable of instructing and teaching us Ambazonians who are experiencing this genocide from La République du Cameroon for the first time. We have never experienced it. It was going on underground, but it has come out now very openly. And so it will be good to listen to a person like this to give us some instructions and some historical facts on how to do. So, Mr. Jotanga, welcome to ABC Amba TV. The people are willing to learn from you to execute what is presently going on. Over to you, sir. The microphone is yours.
Thank you very much. Uh, I have just one short story to tell now. It has to do with press censorship in Cameroon at the time, shortly after the so-called reunification. Okay, the country then had six administrative regions. The Southern Cameroon, which was then called West Cameroon, was one of the six administrative regions of Cameroon, and at the top of the chief administrator of every of those regions was what they call the Federal Inspector of Administration. The one that was appointed for Southern Cameroon, West Cameroon, if you as it was called then, was a certain J.C. Ngo. So he was sent to Boya to be the federal inspector of administrator. Somehow, that's the position that later on morphed into regional or provincial governors. Yeah. So this guy came to Boya, and the he had the intention of making himself of putting himself at the top of the protocol list. That is, he as he was supposed to be a representative, a personal representative of the head of state, as they call them today. Even DOs have that title too, personal representative of the head of state. So he came to Boya and said, since he was a personal representative of the head of state, he was above the prime minister of West Cameroon, who happened to be at the same time the vice president of the Republic of Cameroon. So there was a conflict. There was a challenge for the prime minister then, who was a prime minister and vice president of West Cameroon. There was a big challenge because he should be the highest person on the protocol ladder, but this guy has come now and wants to top him. So that's when a newspaper which was called Cameroon Outlook, and which was run by somebody called Patrick O'Benson, who on this newspaper had a column called Wire. So Tata Benson, the publisher of this newspaper, went on and wrote this story, brought it out to the public, the fact that there was a conflict between the Federal Inspector of Administration, Mr. J.C. Ngo, and the Prime Minister and Vice President of the Republic, Honorable Dr. Foncha. So as soon as the newspaper came out with that story, the journalist Tato O'Benson, alias Akoya, was arrested, and he just disappeared, and nobody knew where he went to. He was taken away to a political prison in North Cameroon, a place called Choleri. That's where they took him and went and locked him up there. There was no court procedure. He never appeared in court. They just picked him up. The security services just picked him up and whisked him away. So he remained in custody for a long time until his mother fell sick. She was terminally ill and finally died. So when she died, I don't know. They thought they should bring him. The authorities thought they should bring him to come and see his mother's corpse for the last time. So he was brought down from Choleri in the north of East Cameroon. He was brought down from Choleri to see his dead mom, and she was lying in state. And he came. He didn't come alone. He was accompanied by gendarmes, armed gendarmes with guns drawn. So some authorities in the government of West Cameroon thought that was not a proper way to treat an honorable citizen as Tato or Benson. So the news got to the judicial authorities, who immediately kicked off a procedure called um, habeas corpus. It is a, a system in the common law. It is a technique in the common law system, which makes it possible for the government or administrative authorities to remand somebody in custody indefinitely without trial. So some lawyers came together, wrote a writ of habeas corpus, and presented that in court, and the court now ordered that Tato Obenson be brought to court, and they should explain why they have kept him for so long without pressing any charges, or without presenting him to the to the judicial system. So Tato Obenson was then brought to court, and after a short hearing, the court ordered him to be released. Since government didn't have any charges against him, even the charge of him writing about the conflict between Foncha and Josingo was not sufficient, because the newspaper was just doing its work and reporting what was happening in the country. So they couldn't have arrested him and then failed to try him and then just threw him in jail. So the court ordered that he be released. So he was released right from the court. He didn't go back to jail. He was released, and that was how he regained his freedom of movement, and then he went back to his newspaper. You see, the question, what we can take from this story is that uh, the common law system has some areas where it is better for individual freedom. It protects individual freedoms more than the French system of the private or civil law, because I don't think they have anything like the habeas corpus in their legal system, which allows even an individual to challenge the government for keeping somebody in jail without trial. The law says when you are arrested, you should be presented. You should go before the court within 48 hours. I think 48 hours. They cannot keep you in the police or gendarme cell for more than 24 hours. 48 hours. So you should be presented to the judicial authorities, so they will decide whether you should be further remanded in custody or not. But in this case, the federal inspector of administration just took upon himself and asked for this guy to be arrested and jailed. uh, what this signifies is that the governor, the not the governor, sorry, the federal inspector of administration was just trying to show that he was above the prime minister and president of vice president of Cameroon. Because, as I said, there were other federal inspectors of uh, administrator. Let's take the one in Littoral, Douala. The federal inspector of administrator in Douala did not try to place himself above Charles Asale, who was the prime minister of East Cameroon and was in Douala. He did not. He knew that he was not above. But what Ngo was doing in Boya was that he just wanted to minimize the importance of the the state of West Cameroon, or of Southern Cameroon, if you want. They just wanted to say, as they continue to say today, that they don't want Yaoundé doesn't want to speak to Ambazonians as a government. They don't want a government representing them. That's the way you should look at it. They didn't recognize they didn't recognize uh, West Cameroon, even though for a time they said it was a state, but they didn't equate it with the state of East Cameroon. So they did everything to minimize the importance of the state of West Cameroon. Yeah. So that was another step, and there are many of those signs which today amount to the effort they were making to make us look small, so that they will just absorb us into their system as if we had never existed as a sovereign state. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for that piece of historical fact concerning Ambazonia. That this operation started very early.
Mhm.
Now, I want to find out from you that individual in his position as a police, whatever, who challenged or who tried to challenge the Prime Minister of West Cameroon or British Southern Cameroon, and at this time called Vice President of Cameroon, was he from La République du Cameroon, or was he one of us that was intoxicated to try to carry that power monger and hunger to usurp authority in the place that it was not supposed to be? Where was he from?
Well, he was from East Cameroon, and
Exactly.
he was appointed by the head of the federal government, that is Amadou Ahijo.
Amadu Ahijo.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but if he forgot that Foncha was the constitutional successor of Ahijo. So he
Right.
couldn't come. He who was appointed by the federal government couldn't come and say he was above. He was above
The Prime Minister.
the prime minister of a state and the vice president, who happened to be also the vice president of the Federal Republic of Cameroon at the time. So he was just he was just overtrying. He was just overplaying his hand. He thought he could get away with that by silencing the journalist who was bringing out this conflict.
Yeah, Ambazonians, I think from our elderly statesmen that God has allowed to still be today in this struggle to give us practical insights and information that they did not only read or that was not handed down to them verbally, but that they experience it, is an eye opener for every Ambazonia in this particular 21st century not to allow those things that the Francophones started doing just like the Igbos were doing before we now fell in between this choice to happen again in this 21st century. We cannot and we must not. So, for those who are sitting down and trying to go back to the vomit of what La Republique, what Ambazonia had vomited La Republique about, it cannot work. Now, I think it was Aguabala or one of them who said that a time is going to come that they will be fighting and praying and seeking for what they call federation, and it will never come their way because the one they had, they did not recognize the viability of it. They did not recognize the importance of it. Today, they are just ashamed to say they are talking about federation, and so they are going around and around talking about decentralization and holding conferences here and there. Well, those conferences are dead on arrival because it was already prophesied, whether by people who heard from God or people who were inspired in one way or the other. But we know that Ambazonia is going to its final end. That is to be autonomous, to be very, very autonomous, not only autonomous, but to be self-governing. And that is where we are. We are not taking anything less than that. Now, Pa, you say you have a short time, and thank you very much for coming in to share this very important piece of information about Akwaya. When I was very, very young, I used to read the column Cameroon Outlook, and I used to see the cartoons of this man called Akwaya. So I remember very faintly, though, because I wasn't really. Now, before you go and before the Ambazonians dismiss you, we just want you to, you have already related the story, how that the Francophone who was appointed by Hijo never knew anything called administration. Now, can you tell us a bit before you go? Whenever somebody was appointed in a government position in West Cameroon, or La Republic, West Cameroon and British Southern Cameroons, we were told that they were given a description of the assignment that they had to do. Now, can you tell us whether the superiors were masters to dominate and just swing the subjects here and there, or they were people that were out to teach the subjects to grow up and then be able to lead the people in a community way of living as disciplined people? I don't know whether my question is.
Not very clear. Not very clear in my mind, but
Okay,
the
now
essential thing.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead, sir. The essential thing to retain here is that our own administrative structure was better planned out and executed, better than the one of East Cameroon. They didn't have a police force. They had messengers who were converted, plantons, they call them plantons in French, who were converted into policemen. They had one police college for the whole of French West Africa, and it was based in Senegal, Dakar, Senegal. That's where they went to train their their police
Police officers.
their policemen. Yeah, they didn't have them in the country. We had Mutengene Police College already. It came. It was started well before we reunited with the other people. Yes, so we had that. We had an administrative setup, as I said, was good. I was fortunate because we just took over. We took over from the one the British uh, trust trusteeship administration had set up, and so we had trained civil servants. And as Per Michael noted yesterday, I listened to his talk. We had what they call uh, the Civil Service Commission, which was the government employer, is the one who the recruiter for the government. That was um, that was it. The Civil Service Commission. They hired civil servants. They wrote out their function, what they were going to do, and they disciplined them when need came and all that. Yeah. So, but we didn't have that from the French people when we joined with them. They they
Okay.
they were just making it up as they were going on because they didn't have it. So they were stealing once in a while. They would take things from us. We had we had training schools not only for the police. We had another training school in Boya, like the P&T. They copied that from us. The
Wow.
the the P&T school. We had the clerical school. There was a clerical school where
For
all civil
clerks.
servants, yeah,
Hmm.
for clerks and lower level administrators. They went to the clerical
Wow.
school, and they were trained there, and they went and worked, and they performed very well, very efficiently. We didn't have that from East Cameroon, but because of their numerical majority, they were the majority population and we were the minority. So they were just imposing whatever they wanted on us. And that's how slowly they took over and destroyed our system. And they are still doing that even until today.
Thank you very much. We have a very sad announcement for La République du Cameroon. The time has come when their destruction has ended. And if they want to destroy anything and anybody, they will destroy themselves. We have taught
Mhm.
them and shown them by practical experiencing and doing what we're supposed to do for them to look like humans, but they have decided to behave like animals. Ambazonians are out. We have opted out from that system. At that time, we didn't know how to fight, but today we have known how to fight, both intellectually, spiritually, and physically. And the 2 cubes of sugar they thought they were going to drown, to melt, have refused to melt. And so all the gimmicks and the games that they are playing, trying to make themselves relevant, and of course using but only Ambazonians, because they are blockheads. I'm sorry to say that if you send somebody to come and be a subject to a prime minister, and then you come and you want to usurp authority, it means that they are, I mean, I don't know what kind of school they go through. And anyway, uh, Pa, you said you have something to do. Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe I'll just allow you to say your last words to the people of Ambazonia, and then you go about other duties. But promise us you are coming back. Yes, you are coming
Yes,
back. Yeah.
I will continue to come back because
All
our
right.
story is a very long story, and we'll just continue to tell it
Squeeze some time
in
and come
small
out.
bits. Yeah,
Come back.
yeah,
All right, bits.
in
Yes.
small bits, and with several people coming to talk. Like I enjoyed what I heard from Pa Michael, somebody yesterday. That was great.
Yeah, he's
I
coming back.
learned
He's coming
very
back.
much. Yeah, I learned very much
Mhm.
from that. Yeah. So we will continue. We should go ahead with our heads uh, 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 held held up and high, because in a way, right from the beginning we were superior to the other people. We were more civilized. They themselves recognize that. I see them. I hear them often say, "Oh well, this our guys, these our brothers were more civilized." Let me give you one short example. We used to have people in the health department, public health department, they called sanitary inspectors. They went
Mm-hmm.
not not just from town to town. They were in every we had six divisions. So they were represented in all those 6 divisions. But they went to every village to inspect, to see whether you don't have grass growing in the whole place and it looks very shabby and all that. They were inspecting the latrine system. They would go behind the houses. 1 week before they came, they would have informed the chief who come out and inform the people and say, look, the sanitary inspector is coming next week. So keep your surroundings clean, beginning with your latrine, because that's what most people had. Beginning with the latrine, keep your surroundings clean, and if you fail to do that, and the sanitary inspector came and went behind your house and saw that it wasn't clean, you were fined, and you had to go to court and pay that fine. Yeah, so they never had things like that in their East Cameroon. No, there are many other things like that which we have, which they never had, but they came and destroyed them. One other thing we had was mail distribution. The mail was distributed down in the towns by street numbers. There were street numbers. Look at Tico still has, even though they don't use those boxes. Street numbers. That's where the mailman came and put mail in the boxes. They came and stopped that. We didn't have it anymore after they came. So we lost a few things. We had hospitals had dispensaries attached to them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you went and got your prescription from the medical doctor, you didn't go to the pharmacy. You went to the government dispensary, which was part of
Dispensary.
the hospital. Yeah, and you
Mm-hmm.
had your medication, and you took it and became well. Yeah, that's it. All those things disappeared, and life started to become difficult for us. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you very much, Pa.
I will end there.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pa. You can take your leave now. I know you're very busy, and whenever it's possible for you to come in and give us these tidbits, for us to know where we are actually coming from, because a lot of people are ignorant, and the torture and the pain they have seen in La Republic, they feel that that's how we grew up with in West Cameroon. And so when we go back to our hometown, that is what we are going to face. But with some of you still instructing us, we pray that you will continue to be our advisors, and they giving us this so that it can go into our minds, so that when we go back home, we will see exactly how to go back. I read in the history book where some of the people said that this particular temple, the the other one that we are going to build is going to be greater than this one. So we are going to build a greater Ambazonia because of this civilization that we are in. At your time, we were on the machine age. Now we have transferred from machine age to computer age. From computer age, we are now into chips. So we are going to build. Thank you very much for coming, and God bless you. We look forward to seeing you again on ABC.
Thank you very much. We'll
Well,
see you
that
again.
was our Pa Jotanga, who actually came in to spice us. And he said what Pa Michael said yesterday of civil service. But Pa Michael said there was we were dealing with civil service, and La République came with fonction publique, which means a public function, which is different from civil service. So we see the words that they brought had different meaning, and so they uprooted the fundamental of what Ambazonia was to be for the whole of Africa, because they were standing out very differently. From all the speeches we are hearing from these our men, plus Pa Litumbe, who just left and went, we heard that there was no corruption, and once you were caught in a corrupt manner, you were totally disciplined, irrespective of your friend, your uncle, and your no. And the government offices and jobs in the offices were given on meritocracy. That means you merit it before it is given to you. But today, we see the opposite. Yeah, Pa has talked about the sanitary. I happen to have witnessed the sanitary. Our sanitaries in those days were wearing very nice, short khaki shorts with thick socks and boots, and with a cap like that of a motorcycle rider. And when they are coming, everybody is at alert. I witnessed that. I remember running to pour wood ash into our toilet and sweeping the compound and the other places before the arrival of the sanitary. That was our land. That was our nature. Now, he has just told us another thing, that we were very organized. That is why if you go to Tico, you have Street 1, Street 2, and they all had numbers. Letters were distributed into houses, just as we find it in other places around the developed worlds. If you are looking for me, you will not be told, go down to that street. When you see a banana that has bent with a mango that is almost ripe, you pass that house. As you go down, you cross a little stream. Then after the stream, you look on the left, there will be a house that is producing smoke. After that house, then you can get to where this historian is now. We are no more in that kind of a thing. But do you know that that's what is going on in La Republic du Cameroon? And they have destroyed our land. We were very organized, but they came very, very disorganized. Thank God that telephones have come to help. Like, people would have been getting missing in this 21st century in a land that's supposed to be living a life that is out of analog. What a shame of these gullibles. Now, he has also told us that they were training their policemen in Senegal, while West Cameroon already had their police college in Mutengeni, and it is still there till today, even though they have come in with their corruption to disrupt the training. In the West Cameroon, the police was called police service, not police force, because police were regarded as the friend of the civilians. The only people that civilians were afraid of which they were not harmful to civilians, were the army, the military. But the police were the friends, and that's why they call it police service. But when corruption came in from these fellows, they turned into police force. That's why they brutalize people from their gendarme training. They come in to brutalize people, torment people before they even find out if they were right or wrong. What an, I mean, I don't know how to give, what name to give them. Because we are talking of civilization. La Republic is very, very far backward, very, very backward. They are worse than some illiterates that I grew up to see in Ambazonia, in southern Cameroons. Yes, they were cultured. But you find these brutal people, you know that it is the brutality that is driving people away from and nobody will ever want to stay with them. They have shown it that even the Ambazonians who are deceived and they try to play the good with La Republique, they have been killed. They ended up being killed. Look at all the cream of people that were so serious and they said they are surrendered. Where are they today? Every now and then, those of them who are criminals and they are locked up in the so-called DDR, they come out to complain. And some of them come out to deceive other people. Look at me, I'm eating. Is food all that you need? You are not working anything. Do you know that you are in prison? And once in a while, they disappear, some of you, and you are still there making noise. Let me tell you, Ambazonians, and those of you in DDR, death is death. If you pretend now and try to run around to show your other people for La Republique to kill, the next thing is they're coming for you, because that's their system. Once they discover that you're no more useful to them, you'll be killed. And that's their system. But we, Ambazonians, we are telling you what had happened and what will happen. Because I know from the history I have read that the new house is always better and glorious than the old house. Yes, because you are building this new house now with modern science. And so the Ambazonia we are looking forward to, after hearing and gleaning from these seasoned elders of Ambazonia who have refused to sell themselves, we are going to build a better Ambazonia. And I want you to go back and find out the literature that Pa told us yesterday, written by our Ambazonian cousin, Anyangwe. He wrote a lot about our history from what Pa was saying. So we should look out for those, for that literature and read it so that you should be conscious of where you are going. We have started now. I will keep it to the end. The discipline that the interim government is exercising, we are going to keep to it. Some people, unfortunate people, who have not opened their ears to read the signs on the wall, are still in darkness. But we have opened up to you here. If you have any question, our phone numbers are on the line. You can call the phone number and ask the Ambazonian elites who are talking here, or you have a question, you can send it in, and when they come here, they will answer. Now, somebody is saying people are fighting and people are dying, and we are here talking history. Shame on you. You are talking because you don't know your history. Pa Michael told us yesterday that there is no nation in the world that is standing today, and many people are fighting to go there, that did not go through the kind of stress and pain Ambazonians are going through. We've gone through for 6 years, and it's almost ending. In fact, it has ended. A few cousins of ours who are Ambazonians, either they joined the society or became deceived by one thing or the other, maybe by a spirit, to fragment us, going in the spirit of La Republique, because that is the game that they have ever played. But we have understood that game. And we are telling our cousins that even though they are playing those games, dancing to the tune and the music of La Republique, they have entered in a very wrong time, because at this particular time, we have read enough of literature, we have studied enough of La Republique's gimmicks and their lies in the daytime, and we know that when they promise you, they will rush there to paint the floor, saying that they are tying the road so that you can be deceived and accept. But we want to let the Ambazonians know that the game that was played in Fumban in 1961 has been stopped. It will never happen in any way or form. It will never happen. And we don't want our people to continue in ignorance. That is why we are calling these men to come in here and tell you our history. But when people like me are talking the history, you say, oh, he's talking Bible. Yes, but our history is closely connected to Bible. Why? Because our virtues are exactly what the Bible expects of a people. And when the Southern Cameroons, West Cameroon, Ambazonia was growing up, that was our holding. And we are still there tomorrow. Honesty, sincerity, no corruption, no embezzlement, transparency, accountability. That is what our people grew up to be. But some of us, Ambazonians, who were translated and transferred to La Republique, we learned enough and a lot of their corruption. And we think we have to transfer it to us in this generation. No. NA is honesty, justice, and accountability. And we must keep to that. We will not change. So those of you, our brothers, who have crossed over thinking that you can sell us to La Republique du Cameroon, you have failed in your attempt. And very soon, La Republique will not even trust you. That what you are saying, because many of you have tried. Oh, I will deliver them. I will do this. And it has not worked. Well, I heard a certain Francophone on the social media this morning speaking very strongly and loudly. And I liked the historical part he said in his his video, that anybody who says one day is one day, you should be very careful with that person. And that Ambazonians are the people who are always saying one day is one day. And that one day has come. So he's pleading with La Republique du Cameroon. He is from there. He says, telling them that this one day, now one day, they should better get out, because they are sinking to go to the deepest part of the sea, that even a hook will not be able to bring them out. They better stop at this moment. But our cousins, Ambazonians, they are endorsing a writing. I overheard that a Francophone has written about decentralization, and Ngute has endorsed it by writing the preface. What a shame. We want to let them write whatever grammar they want to write. Action speaks louder than words that are written or spoken. So, Ambazonians, let's get back to our LGAs. Let's queue up behind our president, the interim government, Dr. Samuel, and we are going to see the end come very soon. Remember, there is an Ambazonian peace plan meeting coming up on Friday. Please don't miss it. It will educate you and educate you more. So we want to thank all of you for sitting down here with us and listening to what is going on. Remember, I told you that I'm not going to be talking to you about negative history because it doesn't encourage anybody. All these CDN and NDAs and Canada and so on, you be warned. But I want to tell you, join these seasoned men. Now, listen. There are other people who have to talk about that. No, that one is very clear. But I am bringing to you a history that is very positive to encourage you and make sure that you don't drop your gun and you don't drop your focus on Boya. That is my mission, because the game has been won. Ambazonia is gone. If La Republica has ears to hear, let them hear. Thank God their own historians are coming out to warn them. I'm sure that guy who was talking was a Bamileke because he mentioned how Bolu, Beti, Fang people are chopped brook pot. And that they tried that with them, and they ran, and the Bamileke man ran away because Bamileke man was protecting his money and his goods. Now the Ambazonian man is not protecting only money and goods, but is protecting its people and its identity. And so it's ready to go the mile and the miles that La Republic wants. And La Republic will see it, and they will know that 2 cubes of sugar have refused to melt. When thrown into water, they turn into iron, and it can pierce through everywhere and anyhow. So join me again tomorrow for another edition of our Amba history. And I tell you, you will not regret listening to men like Pa Jotanga and Pa Michael. And I'm still watching out and finding out those Ambazonian women who also have a story to tell. Who knows whether I will come up with one of them tomorrow after tomorrow. Please, if you know any one Ambazonian woman, please just connect her to the historian here, and we will be marching forward. The number is there. You can call, and at any time I will go ahead. But for today, Ambazonia is raining, and it will continue to rain. All right. God bless all of you, and see you tomorrow as we conclude by letting you know that Ambazonia is raining.
Even for time for trouble, now Jesus the rain. Even oh, even even this time oh, now Jesus the rain.
Yes, even though I've said my concluding words, we are here to learn, we are here to teach people. A comrade has just made a very powerful statement, which I want Ambazonians to know. He is telling us that he stands 100% with Ambazonians drafting. Remember, your draft is very important. And please, if you have drafted, pay your draft. Do everything to pay in the draft so that our ARFs who are loyal and standing for true to defend the homeland because it is their land can go ahead with our support. Also, he encourages this economic sabotage for La Republique. Ambazonians should not, for any reason, just allow La Republique march in and march out. Now, ARFs, you know what to do to protect our homeland and make sure that economic sabotage continues. We are hearing stories of some people who have relaxed and taken some money, that is corruption, from La République du Cameroon and from their members to do what they are doing. But that is not our major concern for now. want to beg them that those are still crumbs. The real thing that is supposed to have is not how much they have given them now. Let's get back to Ambazonia. You will regret when you see whom you're supposed to have been so many years, and you have wasted the years by taking crumbs and little corrupt 10 francs from La Republique, thinking that is helping you. It's not. Anyway, thank you very much, dear friend, for bringing in this very important point. Please pay your draft and get ready for further information and instruction. Thank you very much, Pastor, right from the Philippines. We see that you are watching and you are sending us greetings to Ambazonia. We know you were displaced from La Republique with their criminal activities, and you are right there in the Philippines. I know Ambazonians are scattered all over the world. Please take heart. Don't give up. Some people have given up and they have said, no, this is not going to work. It is working, and it has worked because the games of La Republique in connection with the devil cannot win God. And because God has entered into the situation of Ambazonia, we have won. So the winning has taken place in the spirit, and now we are waiting for the manifestation. Whenever you hear us talk, we are just talking for the manifestation for us to get into Ambazonia. But as for a win, we have won. God bless you as we continue to reign. Bye.
This time, now Jesus the reign. This time, now Jesus